Today, we're diving into something really unique, a deeply personal text called the Gospel of Jason. It's basically a modern-day chronicle of a massive spiritual transformation, one that the author says was, and I quote, divinely spoken and delivered. And right out of the gate, it hits you with this incredible declaration. This isn't just about marking another year on the calendar. Nope. This isn't announcing a totally new beginning, like hitting the reset button on an entire life. And that's really the big question here, isn't it? We're about to explore one person's answer to that. A journey where decades of experiences, both good and bad, are suddenly seen in a completely new light, all in a single flash of insight.
And this whole thing is anchored to one super specific moment, the stroke of midnight on his 56th birthday. So this wasn't some slow, gradual evolution. It was a clean break. There was the life before that moment and the life after.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This rebirth day, as he calls it, didn't just come out of nowhere. The text presents it as the final stop on a lifelong journey, the culmination of all these subtle little hints that had been there the whole time. Just look at this timeline. It starts so early, at just 4 years old, with things described as coincidences, whispers, things you can't quite explain. Then, over the years, those signs get a little more direct. A hand on my shoulder, or even a holy foot to kick me forward. And it all builds up to that one transformative moment at age 56. And this quote just perfectly sums up the new perspective. It's this deep conviction that nothing was random. Every weird coincidence, every challenge, it's all seen as part of a pre-written, divine blueprint for his life. Okay, so if everything was part of a plan, you have to wonder, what about the tough stuff? The pain, the struggles? Well, that question leads us to one of the most powerful ideas in this whole text, this total reframing of what hardship even is. And this is the absolute core of it. The entire perspective just flips on its head. What he used to call a curse is now seen as a blessing. What felt like a crushing burden is now understood to have been divine training. The pain wasn't just pointless suffering, it was preparation. This quote really captures the feeling of that training, right? It doesn't sugarcoat it. It acknowledges the bending, even the breaking, but the end result isn't defeat. It's this incredible cycle of rising back up, and each time coming back even stronger than before. And this new strength is defined by these 3 pillars. Rising isn't just an action, it's his birthright, his inheritance. Resilience isn't just a personality trait, it's his crown, something to be worn with pride. And the tool he uses to navigate, not a map, but a divine imagination. That phrase, divine imagination, is actually our doorway into the next huge shift that happens here, a total overhaul in how knowledge and truth are even understood. The text just dives right into this classic paradox. It's a riddle that mystics and philosophers have puzzled over forever. If all you know is what you've learned or experienced, how do you ever tap into a truth that's bigger than yourself? And here's the answer it offers. It draws a line in the sand between 2 kinds of knowing. There's the knowledge of mind, that's your logic, your facts, your reasoning, but then there's the knowledge of spirit, and that's totally different. It's not something you learn, it's something you receive. It's a direct, gut-level intuition that just bypasses all the mental chatter. And this is the kicker. This knowing doesn't come from inside him. It's a message from an outside source, what the text calls the power, God and his angels, that literally just tells him the truth. It's not, I thought about it and figured it out. It's, I was told and now I know. So we've seen a complete reinterpretation of the past and a brand new way of knowing the present. That brings us to our final section. What's the end result of all this? Well, it's a completely new state of being. Now, the text uses the word surrendered, and that word can sometimes sound weak, right? Like you're giving up. But that's not what it means here at all. This isn't a surrender to failure. It's a surrender to goodness, to a clear path. It's about finally stopping the fight and just aligning with that divine plan. And this surrender leads to this final, powerful 4-step declaration. Now I flow. That's the end of resistance. I am preserved, a feeling of being protected. I am unstoppable, just absolute confidence in this new path. And then bringing it all home, the ultimate statement, I am reborn. So we'll leave you with this. The Gospel of Jason is a radical retelling of a life story, one where every single hardship had a purpose. And it makes you wonder, right? It leaves us with a really provocative question for our own lives. If we looked at our own struggles not as curses but as training, what lessons would we find? What would our lives be trying to teach us?